Yo, okay. I'm sorry I'm late. They was they was playing in my face over at that damn school. There's no way it should have taken that long. And I'm just trying to log on to my Hulu account so that we can watch this. So come in, like it on your way in, please. Really appreciate that. Okay. And we will get to this in like 2 seconds as soon as. And of course, now everything wants to move slow. Let's see why this is doing this. All right. Come in, come in, come in. Let people know um, that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to log in, y'all. Love y'all so much. Thank you for being so patient. Appreciate you. Come on in. Come on. Let me get the Instagram going. Let's get that going. We've got that going. Um, let's get this going. All right. Hold on, y'all. Now it's telling me to log in. You know what? I never use Hulu on this. So I'm like, what do you mean log in? What are you talking about? 2, 3. Oh, they're telling me I got to log in. I got to do all this extra shit. Oh, God. All right. So this should work. And let's see what we got. Come on. Stop playing in my face. No, I don't want that. Skip. Skip, skip, skip. Start watching. Thank you. All I asked you to do. That's all I asked you to do. Give me live. No! Stop! Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. It's acting like I never logged in before. Anyway, come in, everybody. We're about to watch this. We're about to watch this Kamala Harris interview. I don't care about any of this. I really don't. I don't care about any of this. Like, why am I? Okay, here we go. CNN. Thank you. Thank you. Shit. Yes. Okay. Live. Oh, and let's wait. Where? Okay. Here we go. CNN. Thank you. Shit. Let's start from the beginning. And we're gonna play. Play. Why is it not? Hulu, why are you not playing this? I don't understand why it's not playing. Okay, so I'm clicking play, clicking play, play. Okay, and then pop that out, and then why is it not playing? Hold on, Imma show y'all what I'm looking at. This is crazy. This is crazy. Yep, I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. Give me, like, 2 seconds. I'm trying to figure out why this is not playing. There's actually no reason for this to not be playing. I'm hitting play. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this. Oh! Wait, I think I know what's happening, y'all. Um, so there was this thing with Prime where you couldn't stream and play their stuff at the same time because I think they disabled it so that let people you can't let people watch through your thing. I think that's what happened. Let me try this. Yeah, it blacks it out. I think it blacks it out. Hold on. This is absolute yo, they are not playing. Hold on. Imma go to CNN Live because I have CNN. Oh, I'm like, "What the hell?" Like please stop the madness. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me sign in. Live TV. It says watch through your provider. Yeah, I think they may have blocked it. I think they may block us from the live streams. Like if you do it live, if you're streaming. Has anybody heard of that before? They're literally not playing. They're not playing this. None of them are. Hold on. This ain't my computer. I know it's not because I'm not broke. I am broke, but um let's see. Let's see. Like what the heck is that about? Anybody have experience with that? Anybody any other streamers that have experience with that? Where they're like you can't watch something and then stream at the same time? Oh. People were streaming content on their channels and making money from it. Oh, thank you, Jeree. Oh, goodness. Well, that's interesting. Let me see. Let me try one more time. I'm gonna try one more time, y'all. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try let me try Safari. Cause that's not good. That's not good. Let's see, Hulu.com. Okay. Um, that's and then also that's so interesting. I just wanna sign in. Let me sign in again. Oh, that so then that's not then we're not gonna do that we're not gonna be able to do that then. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna try one more thing, y'all, because let me see. Let me see. Oh gosh. Okay. They have an Apple TV app. Let me see. Well, let me see if I can but I tried to I can't even sign in onto CNN Live with the cable login either. So they're like, "No." They're like, "No, you're not getting it." Let me let me try signing in again on Safari. Maybe they're gonna be like, "No, you were on Chrome," and I'm just gonna be like, "No, I wasn't actually." Let's see what happens. I'm using my college email too for this one. Trying to get that discount. Oh, this sucks butt. That's not good. All right. So let's see. Let's go back to Hulu. I'm gonna share the location. All right. Okay. Okay. I don't need that. They say they can't determine. Oh, because I'm doing private. Yeah, y'all. I may not be able to do this. We may have to wait until after it's done. Yeah, CNN is blocking it too. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if I put it on the separate thing and then just like have the camera do that, that's possible. Oh, you're so smart. You're so smart. I'm thinking about doing that because I have like Hulu as the on my TV. Let me try that. That's smart. Look at you all being smart and shit. But then yeah, so I would have to do like the camera setup because I'm not going to be able to like, you know. But then what then you guys wouldn't be able to see it. Are you all okay with like not being able to see it? Cuz if you're fine with hearing it, then I can do that too. Not like we need to see what the fuck they're saying. All right, I'll try to put it on my phone. I'll just put it on my phone. Let's do that. How about we do that? Okay. You know, we hustlers out here. Look at us. You can tell people that was raised in some precarious situations because we're going to find a hustle. We're going to find a way. We're going to find a way to break through the chains. Oh, they letting me get in on this one. Would you like to resubscribe? That's going to be a no. So that's the wrong thing. So it'd be nice if I put the right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hustle. So, okay, y'all. All right. Okay. Well, let's see. We got live. And it's this.
I'm the only person.
Okay, so we can do that.
Prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who trafficking.
Let me do start over. It's starting over.
You have never interacted.
Y'all hear this?
Face to face. That fateful phone call from Joe Biden. I'll give you a little too much information. And their take on those viral convention images. It's very humbling. It's very humbling.
Can y'all hear that?
I don't know, as a father, I could have ever imagined that.
With just days until early voting begins, a defining moment in the race for the White House. Okay. CNN's exclusive interview of the Democratic nominees starts now.
All right. Yeah.
Good evening. We're live from Savannah, Georgia. I'm Dana. This is a state very much up for grabs.
Can you hear that and me? Is what I want to know.
For president and her running mate today at Kim's Cafe here in Savannah. Inside, nothing was off the table, and you will see our interview in its entirety. The vice president's first as her party's standard bearer, responding to her critics and answering our questions. This is not where Vice President Harris thought she would be. We're going to Georgia. It's 7th trip there this year for me. A surprise nominee for president just months from Election Day. Set in motion after a stunning debate.
Look, we finally beat Medicare.
That really was
Some
bad.
within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
There was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And then an extraordinary decision.
I decided the best way forward.
So anyway, we're getting all this background stuff. I just want them to get to the goddamn thing.
What usually takes years of planning, coming together in a matter of weeks. A historic nomination at the convention in Chicago. On behalf of everyone.
I love it. I love it. Now you can see them. You can hear.
The greatest nation on earth.
Okay. Ooh, the way I just hustled that. Shout out to me.
With the shortest presidential campaign in modern history. What did you hear from voters here? People are very optimistic. We join them on the trail as they visit.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to skip because I know that they're moving forward. I don't care about any of this. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia.
I don't have it in
You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House? Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class.
Middle class.
When I look at
middle class,
the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward.
Okay.
In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade,
she looks really concerned.
In the former president, someone who has really been pushing an agenda and in an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really
That's it.
dividing our nation.
All we want is
and
more money.
People are ready to turn the page on that. So what would you do day one?
Day
Day one,
one.
it's going to be about implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy.
Opportunity
I've already laid out a
economy.
number of, proposals in that regard,
What are they?
which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do
What are
to
you gonna
invest
do?
in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib.
Okay. So I'm glad that we are starting, after, because then I can pause and I can do what I do. She giving out car seats, y'all. You get a car seat. You get a car seat. You get some baby clothes. Okay.
There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one. What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be, and I think many of these things that the vice president's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by a third. We did it in Minnesota. To have a federal partner in this, unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
You talked about.
Do I have any economists in the chat who want to tell us and explain to us how $6,000 tax credit reduces child poverty by a third? If anybody can put that into the chat, preferably on YouTube, so I can just click it and share it. If you have any insight into how that works, please let us know.
You call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. Yeah. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president. Well, let's start with the fact that when
already too much.
Height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis.
Yep.
When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it. I know it.
You're asking the right
question.
question.
My agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging. What we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years. What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream. So you have been vice president for 3.5 years. The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already? Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%. The work that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened. We did it. So now, as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of...
I'm sorry. Did you all just hear what she said? She said that Donald Trump was supposed to negotiate with Medicare and it never happened, and we did. I'm not sure you want to tout that you took a Republican's policy. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to keep playing. Okay, let's keep on.
That have benefited. I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts. And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin.
She's not doing that
You
anymore.
maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down prescription medication for the American people, including capping the cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for
She's
seniors at
tripping up on some of her
$2,000.
language
When we
lately.
do
I've been
what we did
noticing.
in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by over 50%.
No. So any economists in the chat, explain to me how the $6,000 is going to alleviate poverty for 50% of children in the United States. If anyone has that answer, let me know. And the reason I pointed out that she's stumbling over her words because she just said bring down the medication, not the cost of medication. So I'm just pointing that out.
When we do what we have done to invest in the American people and bringing manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America, what we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs, I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
I want to get some clarity on where you stand.
Okay, I want to pause there. The United States okay. So this is an America First agenda. Please hear it for what it is. Vice President Harris just said that we want to move away from relying on foreign goods and things like that, medicines and things like that. That is straight out of the America First playbook. And I just want you to see, it's okay if you're okay with that. But the America First agenda is harmful to a lot of people. First of all, there's things that other nations are providing that we need that we simply don't do. Right? So yes, we have exchanges with them. We have trade agreements with them. We have these entities set up so that we can export our goods to them. We can import their goods from them. And then we do what we need to do. This idea that we are going to lessen our reliance so that we don't rely on any of them is incredibly problematic. And I just want to point it out. You feel how you want to feel, but that is an America First agenda. Let's get back into
some key policy issues. Energy is a big one.
Okay.
When you were in Congress, you
Katie,
supported
you're
the
up.
Green New Deal.
Fracking.
And in 2019, you said, quote, "There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020.
Yeah, no, they did.
Would
They
not
put out
ban
the
fracking.
list, and
As
we'll get
Vice
it.
President,
Yeah,
I
we'll get
did
it
not
next year.
ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, at a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit?
I'm going to replay that because I don't think y'all heard that. I was talking.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020 that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, at a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important.
Okay, I'm just going to stop you all because I know what she's about to say. Kamala Harris has taken this as a politician, and as she should as a politician, that I have my personal values and my personal views, but then I also have what my party is telling me to do, right? And I think she walks that fine line, and sometimes she's really good at it, other times not so much. And I think this is where this is coming into play right now. And remember, this woman's a lawyer. She's a prosecutor. This woman is used to being in courtrooms. She knows how to work the language. She knows how to redirect. She knows how to, avoid answering questions and stuff like that. So I think this is really interesting that Dana's pushing this fracking thing because she's like, okay, in 2019, you said that, you know, you would ban it. And then 2020, you said you wouldn't. And Dana is a good journalist trying to get to the heart of it. And Kamala is like, I said this, I know what my values are. So just pay attention to that.
That we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, excuse me, I passed the
She got
tie-breaking
Dana's
bill
name wrong.
that actually increased leases for fracking.
Yeah.
As vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
Was there some
I'm sorry.
policy
What?
or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
Dana's trying to
What
get to the
interests me
heart
is
of
that
this.
we can grow and we
What?
can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Another issue, big one, is immigration. As vice president, you were tasked.
So real quick, Dana asked her, was there science or evidence or anything that you saw? And she was like, no. Vibes. Okay, let's keep going.
With addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
Northern part of Central
the
America.
northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But
Okay, and then for those who haven't been paying attention, they adopted a sweeping Republican policy. Yeah.
I'll say this, that Joe Biden and I, and our administration, worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border. And because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill, a border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. Let me tell you something. The Border Patrol endorsed the bill.
So if you're saying that Donald Trump did this, then that's some kind of like interference, right? Isn't that like treason or something? Like I just feel like the Constitution has rules around this, and I'm trying to understand why they're not trying to prosecute him, because that sounds like motherfucking espionage. Okay, you know what, I'm high, so maybe I'm not getting it.
And I'm sure in large
I'm
part
not getting-
because
maybe
they
I'm
knew
not
they were
getting
working around the clock.
Maybe it's me.
And 1,500 more agents would help them. That
Maybe-
bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any
Wow.
community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl what passing that bill would have done to
Oh, just FYI, most of the fentanyl comes from China. Okay, keep going.
address their concern and pain that they've
So you would-
experienced.
So you would push that legislation again. I just want to
Not
ask
only
about
push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
just one other question about
Comes to my
something
desk
that
and
you
sign it. Take a
said in
drink.
2019, when you first ran, there was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border.
Oh my
There should be
God.
consequence. And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in drugs and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws. And I would enforce our laws as President going to recognize the problem.
Generally speaking,
Wait.
the changes that you've made.
Wait. You said you wanted to decriminalize the border. Then the next year, you said, Dana's going back. She's like, well, since you don't want to talk with nobody, you don't want to interview with nobody, we probably going to be the last ones to get an opportunity to talk with you. So I'm going to ask you everything. You said this, then you became vice president and changed up. What are you doing now? That's what Dana's doing. She's saying, you said this, you changed your mind. What are you going to do going forward? And she has Kamala against the ropes right now. And it's great, but I also want y'all to be reminded that these are like questions that have to get approved and shit. So I just put that out. Okay. Wait, what just happened here? Hold on.
That you explained some of here in your policy. Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information?
Dana's trying to give her an out.
Because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Here she's with my values haven't changed again.
I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America, and by extension, the globe, around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. The value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it. And 4 years of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively.
I don't
here in Georgia.
I don't
think
get
told
it.
me 17 times since I've been vice president.
I don't
in
get
Georgia
it.
Alone. I believe it is important to build consensus, and it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers.
So I'm going to pause that because somebody on Instagram said, I do not like that take on immigration. Katie, you said y'all deported more people than Trump. I need you all to understand this. That's why I showed you how Biden got, took a hit because he was sending Haitians back to Haiti during this crisis that they have down there, when we know that those people were here seeking asylum and you're going to send them right back into the throes of hell. Like, let's be fucking for real here. Okay. Obama was deporter in chief. Obama-Biden legacy continued with a minor interruption with Trump and, and his banning of, Muslims and things like that. But let's be honest, the Democrats and the Democrat-run parties have been doing most of the deportations in the 21st century. Let's make sure that that is known, because a lot of people don't know that, because a lot of people do not keep up with that kind of stuff. Thank you all for sharing in the chats.
At the convention, will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Here we go.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I would. I think it's really important.
We discussed this earlier, but it's still hard to hear this.
Inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to
No, I
have
agree
people
with
at the
you.
table
I
when
agree
some of the
with
most
you.
important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
That was just the start of our wide-ranging conversation, and we have some never-before-shared details about the phone call that changed everything between President Joe Biden.
We actually don't care about that. Listen, yes, you said you feel like people must be telling her she's too progressive, and she feels like she's trying to reassure these people. Excuse me, I got booger in my nose, and I don't like that. Okay, sorry. No, you're correct. So in some ways, I think that what she was saying when she was originally running for president, back when she was up against Biden, she definitely presented herself as a woman that was aligned with Black people, with the struggles, with the community, things like that. I was a kind prosecutor. I tried to help people. I wasn't, I'm for the racial stuff. She used to be support reparations. Now she doesn't. She was against the death penalty. Now it's off of the table. And I think that's why she keeps saying this line. And that's the only thing that has me kind of like raising my eyebrow, is that she keeps saying, my values have not changed. And there's part of me that thinks it's like, is she trying to send a signal to folks like, my values haven't changed? Yes, I'm saying this shit, but my values haven't changed. And I guess that's where my hope is, right? People say you can't go forward without hope, but there's part of me that is hoping. But then there's times where she shows herself that this is really her. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all, let's keep it going. Let's keep going. And maybe we could skip over some of this other shit because we don't actually care about that stuff.
And Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm just curious.
Okay, so coming up. I'm just trying to fast forward, y'all, because remember we started late, so I can pull us up. Let me see. You know what? I should probably turn on my Wi-Fi. That would actually help, right? Let me turn it off.
The country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
All right. So they about to get into him. So let's get through this. Let's go. About to get through these commercials. The weather report. We don't need the weather. They're giving the air quality. I don't know how many of you watch CNN regularly, but they let you know what's happening around the world. I don't think they want me to skip though. They be like, you're gonna watch these damn commercials. All right, see.
Air quality update.
That's an air quality update. Okay, so hit the like button. Thank you very much. Yes, hit the like button when you come in. You said people were uncommitted to voting for Biden to pressure him on Palestine. However, all I've heard from Democrats is that they're worried that he hasn't been strong enough on the border and fentanyl. I don't understand who the target audience is anymore. No, we don't know either. That's why we're all here in this community that we've been building, in recent weeks, because we're all trying to figure this out. We're all like slowly watching the Democrats move to the right. And Sophia said they won't ban fracking because they need the oil to fix the economy. Oil and gold are essential to the U.S. economy. They won't consider climate change regard to while the national debt is $35 trillion. Right. You said if I was saying that line about values, I would be trying to send a secret message to folks, but I'm not sure she's doing that. Might be. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what has me perplexed, because I'm like, is she trying to speak to people that supported her back in the day when she had these more progressive, or she spoke these more progressive, damn near community organizer type values? Is she trying to signal to them like, my values haven't changed? Like, my values haven't changed, y'all, but I'm not going to ban fracking, but my values haven't changed. Is she doing that, or is she just being Kamala Harris, the country's top cop? They're still on commercial, y'all, so we're just going through as we have a commercial break. I don't know if some of y'all went to go pee or whatever you're doing. Welcome. If you're just coming in, please hit the like button. Please, please, please. If you like what I'm doing here and you're supporting it, if you want to drop me some coins, I have my PayPal, I have my my Venmo, I have my Cash App there. Because I'm streaming on Instagram, you can't buy a badge, but I always love when people subscribe to my Instagram or subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/Feminista Jones. I really appreciate that. We are building this community, and if they're gonna keep doing shit like this, I gotta actually pay for Hulu, and so that's gonna cost money. So you all, and your support is great. All right, we're back. Here we go.
Welcome back live from Savannah, Georgia, and our exclusive interview with Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. In just 12 days, Harris will meet Donald Trump on a debate stage in Philadelphia. And when I say meet, I mean literally meet. Would you believe they have never talked face to face? The only time they've even been in the same room was when Harris was a senator watching Trump's State of the Union address. Now,
Damn,
it's
they don't know each
Harris
other.
on the campaign
They
trail
don't even
with
know each
money and
other.
momentum, making her case directly to voters.
Shannon said they don't even know each other like that.
As voters are getting to know Kamala Harris, they want answers on how she will make their lives better. She heard that here at Sandfly Barbecue in Savannah.
What we're going to do to increase access to capital for small businesses, I'll be rolling out next week. Part of what we're going to be doing in terms of a tax credit.
On the trail, she talks about her experience, years in the courtroom as a district attorney and eventually California's attorney general. She wants to reframe the contest as the prosecutor versus the felon. The former president is turning to a well-defined playbook of personal attacks.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
And
I
in
mean,
just 12
some
days,
people say he was lying.
he's face to face for the first time.
She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want.
I also want y'all to stop with that whole, oh, she joined AKA, of course she's black. You know how many white people are in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated? You know how many white people go to Howard University? I want y'all to stop using that as a metric for blackness. Stop using these bourgeois entities as measurements for blackness is what I'm really trying to say. Hope you pick up what I'm putting down. Okay.
If you got something to say.
I want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face.
Y'all don't even
That's
know
going to
each
change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
And he's
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it. That's it. Okay. Let's talk
Well,
about some foreign policy.
well, then let's
issues
no wait.
that
Actually,
be on your
let's
plate.
go back here. Okay, wait a second
I
now.
want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
And he's
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it. That's it. Okay. Let's talk about some foreign policy.
Okay. Far be it from me to tell her what questions that she should answer related to race and racism and things like that. However, you're given an opportunity to discuss the elephant in the room, which is racism, right? Also sexism. You are a woman who is not white, right? You are a woman who, when people question your blackness, you get offended, right? Here's an opportunity you can be dismissive of him and just say, he says what he wants to say. However, let me make clear, or, whatever it is that she says. United States is diverse and we're ready for, you could just, there was an opportunity there, I feel, to make a statement of some sort to emphasize the fact that you are a Black woman and an Indian woman, and that this is the first time that either of these cultural groups are being represented in such a way. You could spin it positively. You could just say something instead of kind of moving away from that. And in some ways, it almost seems like she moved away from even wanting to discuss that. So there's that. Yeah, man. Hold on 1 second. You can come in. Thank you, baby. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, my love. All right. Why is this buffering? Hold on, y'all. Come on. I tell you, this ain't nothing but the white devil trying to mess with our technology. Come on. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. I'm trying to figure out what is happening right now. All right, let's put that Wi-Fi on. This is
issues
Okay, here we
that
go.
would be on your plate if you become commander in chief. President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Let me be very clear. I'm unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself.
Okay.
And that's not going to change.
And that's not going to change.
Let's take a step back.
But let's hear.
October 7th,
Okay. Here we go.
1,200 people are massacred.
Okay.
Many young people who were simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped.
Oh,
As I said,
my God.
you're right. As a right to defend itself, we would.
Wait. Didn't like every reputable outlet said that there's no proof of that? Like there's no evidence of that, that's something that is just okay. Let's just go back. Just go back again. Here we go. Okay.
1,200 people are massacred. Many young people
Oh,
who are
I also
simply-
want to point out that something that didn't hit the United States news, and I was listening to a Palestinian professor talk about how Israel had already broken that whole ceasefire agreement they had a few weeks before October 7th, and something like 240 plus people died in that, but it never made the United States media. And then they were showing like the coverage of that, and it was like, oh, so October 7th didn't just come out of nowhere. Just wanted to point that out. Okay.
attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to get a deal done. We were in Doha. We have to get a deal done. This war must end. In the meantime, we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out.
Again, prioritizing the hostages. And she's talking about the Israeli hostages, right? She's not talking about the thousands of Palestinians that have been held hostage for years by the Israelis. She's talking about these hostages from October 7th. And that is going to be her focus, right? Because that is what AIPAC pays her to have as the focus. And it's also really disgusting to sit there and say that you want to, end the suffering when you're causing the suffering. Okay.
I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
No change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get a deal done. When you look at the significance of this to the families,
We
to the
have to get
people who are
a
living
deal
in that
done.
region. A deal
Thank you,
is not
Sophia.
only the right thing to do to end this war, but will unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed
What
since
must
I've
happen?
been on October 8th to what we must do to work toward a two-state solution. Where
Two-state
Israel
solution.
is secure
Wow.
and in equal measure, the Palestinians have security. And
This is the exact same thing she said at the DNC. What is the point of this interview if all you're going to do is literally regurgitate the exact same words? Memorized, ready to go. You don't even vary by like term. And for me, again, I'm critiquing the public speaking. You are saying the exact same words. So what is the point of the interview if all you're doing is reiterating the things you said at your rallies?
Self-determination and dignity.
Governor Walz, the country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school class.
Answer the damn question. Did you say it or not? Did you misspeak or not?
Whether it's Congress or the government.
I'm going to pause. If you join in on Instagram, I see folks on Instagram. Please come and join us over on YouTube if you can. If you're using your phones, just hop on over to YouTube. I don't know about y'all. I have YouTube Premium, so even when I use other apps, it shows. But hop on over to YouTube, youtube.com, Feminista Jones. Come join us over here in this chat, okay? And I'm about to kick somebody out the chat, so okay.
My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again,
this doesn't answer the
been out
question
there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And
you didn't answer the question.
The idea that you said that you were in war.
So Dana's going back. He did not answer the question at all. He instead talked about his record here. Okay.
Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told my grammar's not always correct. But again,
now he's
it's not
blaming
this,
his
it's an
grammar.
attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another.
How did we go from, you know what, I'm actually going to go back. I want you all to listen to Tim Walz, because I think right now he's about to lose the little audience that he had. He was a boost for her. He's about to lose it. Please pay attention to what this man is saying and not saying. This is actually like really bad. This is worse than her.
Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war.
It's a yes or no
my wife,
answer.
The English teacher, told my grammar's not always correct. But again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog.
Invoking the
I'm not
empathy.
going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
I just one other question, because again, this is all new.
Yeah.
I mean, this was not however many days ago. This was not either of your bingo cards, especially yours. You
I
had
should've
to
made a bingo
clarify
card.
that you had said that you and your wife used IVF, but it turned out you used a different kind of fertility in order to have children. And then when you ran for Congress in 2006, your campaign repeatedly made false statements about a 1995 arrest for drunk and reckless driving.
Ooh.
What do you say to voters who
Dana said
aren't
you've been
whether
misspeaking a lot.
they can take you at your word?
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wish in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that had those beautiful children there.
Oh my
That's
God.
quite a controversy folks that are trying to take those rights away from us.
Yeah.
And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've
We
seen
don't
that
know
I've
who
taught
you are.
thousands
That's
of
the whole
students I've been
point.
out there. And
He has to stop. If you're watching me, because I know you motherfuckers watch me. If you're watching me and you're on that team, tell him to stop saying people know who I am. We have no idea who you are. Minnesotans know who you are. Maybe a couple of people around there. We heard about you with the George Floyd thing, but nobody actually really paid attention, because when they announced you, a lot of people were like, who's this guy? Oh, the George Floyd thing. So nobody knows you. You're trying to get to know you. And that's the whole point. And so far, you've been asked 2 questions and you've deflected completely on both of them. And that's just weird because these are actually really silly questions. You could easily be like, yeah, I misspoke. It happens. And that would end everything. And that's what I don't understand. This is supposed to be the guy who's the brutally honest guy. He's the guy next door. He's coach and he's relatable and, you know, he's real and all these things. Well, be real for us. Be real. Just say, yeah, you know what? I misspoke. My bad. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going because they playing in our faces and it's okay. We know better though. We know better. All right.
Apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights. The contrast could not be clearer between what we're running against. The vice president's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think what they're cutting hairs on is an abortion ban and the ability to be able to deny families the chance to have a beautiful child.
All you had to say was, listen, I don't necessarily know the difference.
It changed everything when Kamala Harris got a phone call from President Biden.
All right, they're going to commercial. So yeah, so they didn't need, he didn't need to do that. He could have been like, yo, I messed up. I didn't know. What the hell do I know about this stuff? My bad. Like, I think people would receive that better than, oh yes, I absolutely knew the difference and I messed up. Come on, just be real. We got it.
Speaking of those baby nieces, the
All
vice
right.
president also opens up about a viral picture from the
Let
convention
me go forward.
I don't know.
Keep going. I'm gonna get through this together. These commercials. Oh, it's a kitty commercial. It's kitties. I gotta watch the kitties.
You can get your cat a subscription for as low as
Okay.
You could
Let's go.
easily rid of those experience on product. Expensive.
Oh, it's a lot of commercials.
R&D.
I wonder if they're adding more commercials because I keep going from. Here we go.
Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim
We're
Walz.
back.
It's hard to believe it was just 39 days ago President Biden shocked the world via tweet. That's how we found out he was dropping his reelection bid. But before he tweeted the news, Biden called his vice president. And for the first time, we are hearing about that phone call and exactly what Kamala Harris was doing when she answered. But we started this discussion with the
Professor
moment
F.
that set all of this in motion, CNN's presidential debate, and whether President Biden was strong enough to lead this nation again. Vice President Harris, you were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now,
They knew his Weekend in Bernie's ass was not doing well.
No, not at all.
That's why they're keeping him out of the limelight right now.
Served with President Biden
It really does.
for almost 4 years now.
It really
And I'll tell you,
does.
it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of it.
This should not be that funny. But they started talking about Weekend at Bernie's as it relates to Biden, only for them to ship him off to the beach. They came up with the COVID thing. I don't believe he had COVID, y'all. I think they came up with the COVID thing to be like, to be able to explain in case they needed a way out, to be like, well, COVID really took him out and he needs to recover or he might die. I think that's what they did. I don't think this motherfucker had COVID. I don't. Where's my tinfoil hat? Next time I'm going to keep it right here. I'm just going to put it on, say what I think, and then take it back off.
And so, one, I'm so proud to have served as vice president to Joe Biden. And two, I'm so proud to be running with Tim Walz.
Because I want to make sure y'all know this
United
move was
States,
planned
to bring
since that
America
2019,
the
2020
American
thing.
people deserve, which is a new.
When they got her to step back to give it to Biden, right? Because, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all, tinfoil hat. Jimmy Clyburn is an old time, Democrat, Southern Democrat. He basically runs South Carolina. He runs the South in many ways, right? Or at least the Black South. Listen, they owed Joe Biden. Joe Biden had been in office his whole life. That man needed to culminate with the presidency. They were going to make that happen. Kamala was going to disrupt that, right? She had the hive. They were all in. And she actually could have won that, right? But nope, they had to go with Biden. And so she had to step back. And I'm telling y'all, then it was negotiated then. If you fall back, we will make you the vice president. He is going to be one term and we're going to slide you in. That is exactly what I think happened. I'm just going to point that out. Y'all don't have to agree with me. You could think I'm crazy. That's okay.
Way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago, where there is some suggestion, warped, I believe it to be, that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake as much as any other detail that we could discuss in this election.
Because we haven't had a chance to talk. I'm just
Yeah, I
curious,
love that. That's fine.
staying on President Biden. When he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away or did you ask for it?
I think it's
It
this. This
was,
is what I be smoking.
It was a Sunday. So
Like,
here, I'll give you a little too much
No.
information. Go for it. There's no such thing. My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces. And we had just had pancakes and,
this is the mom opportunity. They're still rattled by JD Vance talking all this shit about people not having kids. And so they're still going to work on giving her that maternal image.
can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then we were sitting down to do a puzzle. And the phone rang and it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
And he was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, "I'm pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you."
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest.
He's one of the most powerful people
My
in the
first
world.
thought was about
Okay? Don't sleep.
To be honest. I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency. I think history is going to show that in so many ways it was transformative, be it on what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's infrastructure, investing in new economies, in new industries, what we have done to bring our allies back together and have confidence in who we are as America and grow that alliance.
Hold
What
on,
we have
y'all.
done to stand true to our principles, including the one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I think history is going to show not only has Joe Biden led an administration that has achieved those extraordinary successes, but the character of the man is one that he has been in his life and career, including as a president, quite selfless and puts the American people first.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like, why do I look at
Passionate
this?
defense of who chose her to be his running mate 4 years ago. 4 years later, Harris made a choice of her own. And with Governor Walz's rise to national prominence, a star was born at the convention, Gus Walz. We'll hear about that moment between father and son, and the woman who could make history in the Oval Office on this iconic.
Okay, let's keep going.
Was watching you at the viral picture of the nomination. You didn't explicitly talk about gender or race in your speech.
Yeah, we're about to get to it. We're about to get to it. Let's get to it. We're about to get to race and gender. You know, that's my area of expertise. Come on, Booby. We're going to talk about race and gender. These are some long ass commercials.
Sorry, honey, it's a
Oh, like it's still going. And then Hulu comes in like, no, we got ads too. What y'all think about this shit? Like, y'all. Oh, while we're here, hit that like button, please, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. You know, if you want to drop some coins towards my weed fund, that'd be great. You know, I'm not telling what you got to do. I'm just saying it's always helpful. All right, I'm waiting for this Hulu ad. I am eating cold fried chicken. That is what my son brought me. I'm gonna be one of them streamers that eats on the stream. This is a long commercial. It's a very long commercial.
You could give these different investment options a shot.
The right money moves, aren't it?
Yeah. Yeah. They essentially believe like either you choose one or the other. They know you can't be a mom and be president, right? It's weird. Here we go.
Interview with Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, who was supposed to be, if you listened to some experts, a big name, a prominent leader from a swing state.
Was supposed to be a big name.
Little known guy outside of his home state, where Minnesota nice is a source of pride. But behind all of that folksy humor and flannel, Tim Walz is far from just being this nice guy when it comes to needling Donald Trump.
God damn, Daniel.
Governor, you obviously have spoken to voters all over your state for years.
Yeah.
What are you learning in a place like Georgia?
We're seeing an explosion in small business growth. The one thing is workforce and childcare, because workers have to have childcare.
Campaigning with Tim Walz, finding his role in this historic campaign. Did you review my resume and let's get this thing on the road? Bursting onto the national stage with this word.
These guys are just weird.
Known as a folksy father of two from rural America, now a running mate who is not holding back.
Listen to the guy. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter and shocking sharks and just whatever crazy thing pops into his mind.
And finding his own rhythm with his new boss.
Brisket and green and mac and cheese.
What about you?
I had the brisket and coleslaw on this.
And what about the spice situation, the Tabasco? What's happening with that?
I'm gonna let him speak for himself.
The vice president's growing peppers at her residence, so she's trying to like bring me along on this. You know, Minnesotans.
Oh my gosh. I don't care about it. Okay,
Moments
here we go.
that were perhaps unexpected during the convention. You mentioned one of them, Governor. The moment that you shared, that the world shared with your son, Gus, you were speaking, the camera caught him so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
This is Tim's face right now.
Yeah, I don't know as a father I could have ever imagined that. I'm grateful for so many reasons to be on this ticket, but that moment, to understand what was really important, to have my son
That was such a
feel a
beautiful
sense of pride
moment.
in me that I was trying to do the right thing. And
Gus for
it was,
VP.
you
We
try
love
to protect
him.
your kids, you know, it brings notoriety and things, but it was just such a visceral, emotional moment that I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Hope. I'm proud of Gwen. She's a wonderful mother, and these are great kids. And I think the one thing is talking about the era we're in is our politics can be better. It can be different. We can show some of these things, and we can have families.
Can you hear it now?
And I hope that there was I hope people felt that out there, and I hope they hug their kids a little tighter, because you just never know, and life can be kind of hard.
And last question, Madam Vice President, the photograph that has gone viral. You were speaking, one of your grandnieces that you were just talking about was watching you accept the nomination. You didn't explicitly talk about gender or race in your speech, but it obviously means a lot to a lot of people, and that viral picture really says it. What does it mean to you?
I'm sorry.
You know, I am running because I believe that I am the best person to do this job at this moment, for all Americans, regardless of race and gender. But I did see that photograph, and I was deeply touched by it. And you're right, it's the back of her head, her two little braids, and
Is anybody else having the same issues that the audio is sounding muffled? I'm sorry. You know, I can't really tell because we haven't done this before when I'm playing this on my phone. So, okay.
And then I'm in the front of the photograph, obviously speaking. And it's very humbling. Very humbling in many ways.
Okay, thank you.
Did she talk to you about it afterwards?
Oh, she had a lot to talk about. She had a lot. She listened to everything, and she listens to everything.
Give you your hot takes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Jana. Thank you.
All right.
This was Vice President Harris's first real unscripted setting where voters
Unscripted
could
my
see
ass.
and hear her explain some of her policy positions now and how they differ from before she became vice president and why. And this was the first we heard those details about an extraordinary phone call from a president dropping out of the race and endorsing.
Okay. So let's reflect because no, actually, let's reflect because tonight we had two experiences, right? Earlier today we talked about the rally, right? Did anybody hear anything more about the protest? We heard that they called her a war criminal. Like we heard that with our own ears, but I was getting my kid. I didn't get a chance to see if there had been any updates on that. Did we find out what group that was or who was protesting? But we know that completely rattled her. And it seems like maybe the rally got cut short a bit because of that. And then now we're listening to, this interview, which they're saying is unscripted. And come on, none of this stuff is ever unscripted. This is why this is called political theater with Dr. T. None of this is unscripted. This is all extremely meticulated. And for them to say it's unscripted when they know that she literally sat there and gave like some of the same lines word for word from the DNC speech, previous rallies, that wasn't unscripted, right? So maybe they mean like she didn't know which questions were coming at what time, because they definitely approved the questions. I don't like that she skipped around the race and gender stuff. I don't like that she's not talking about it. And I wonder if there's a strategy where they're saying, oh, don't talk about it. Don't make it the issue because it already kind of is the issue. Because there was an article, I think I told y'all about that. It was an article I read a few weeks ago saying that, Trump's campaign is the man's campaign and Kamala's Harris's campaign is the woman's campaign, and that it is kind of like this big gender gap, right? And that her campaign is alienating men because of that, because it's starting to sound so girly and feminist, right? And part of that was attributed to when the Win with Black Women did that call to raise that money. Then the white women hopped on, the South Asian women hopped on, all these different people. And so they said it was starting to get a little too woke, starting to get a little too identity based, right? And y'all notice that after she took all them people's money, she moved away from identity stuff. See, I want y'all to watch for the hook. I want you to always watch for the hook. Always keep your head on swivel, because where's that hook coming from? A lot of folks watching this right now hopped on one of them calls and made some donations and gave some money. And you're looking at her back because she's running away with it, right? And she's not talking about the issues that are important to you. So when you have between, these women, Black women, South Asian women, white women coming together to raise you millions of dollars, and you don't mention anything about race, culture, gender, sexual orientation, sexual identity. I remember the last DNC had I believe it was a white transgender person speaking. Were there any this year? We had enough rape victims, right? We had several rape victims, trafficking victims. We had plenty of police. But I don't know. Somebody correct me, fact check me. Was there any transgender, or I should say an out and openly transgender person speaking at the DNC? Because if so, then I missed it. I didn't catch everything. But if not, it says a lot, right? And so I want you also to pay attention to the language of And so actually, I just read an article saying that they're not going to release that somebody who's a political strategist believes they're actually not going to release a formal platform because they don't have time to articulate one, right? They've only got like 2 months left. And so they're not going to take, the time to actually put that out there, that they are relying on the coverage of these rallies to help people get that platform. Like, this is my platform. You know how Beyonce said, you are the visuals? Kamala is saying this is the platform. You just got to pay attention because I'm going to continue to say the same platform every single city that I go to. So if you can't catch it by then you're just not going to get it, right? So you said, and white dudes for Harris was even more, right? So they're fighting over, whatever. They're going to go with the men. The men gave them most. Oh, so there was no trans speaker at the DNC this year, right? Okay, so we moved backwards from that, right? Did Sarah McBride? No, I don't think she spoke. That would have been a big deal. That would have been in the news if Sarah was able to get on the stage. So you said that's the first time since 2012, right? So again, when we say that they are moving to the right, that's what we're talking about, right? So I want you to look for the language if they do publish anything formal, right? Because they had gone through the official kind of stuff on websites and documents to change the language to be more gender expansive. So there's a lot of use of non-binary and transgender and things like that. I want to see if they quietly move away from that the way they quietly removed the stance being against the death penalty. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you said Tennessee 3 bumped. Wow, really? I didn't know that. Because they sure were up there, all Kamala, so they got bumped too. Wow. So, so you said the independent, okay. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are. I am starting teaching next. I think I might take a break, but I don't know. We definitely are here for September 10th. If anything comes up, I might, because I'm here and I enjoy this and I'll be here. I do appreciate the support you all have. I do appreciate the community that we are building here. So definitely watching the presidential debate, which is going to be September 10th. I already have a video on my channel, says upcoming. Hit that notify button so it'll let you know when we go live. If you subscribe, it's usually, if you have notifications like on your phone, it'll let you know when we go live. Definitely come back for that. And then we have one scheduled for the vice presidential debate as well. But just keep it up. If you follow me on Threads, usually I'll post it. Sometimes I'll put it on Instagram. So just check it out. I'll be here. Share these videos to let people know we're over here on your way out. If you're in YouTube, please hit that like button. And yeah, so I hope you all have a great night. I really appreciated you being patient with all the technical stuff that we were dealing with. But we'll talk next time. All right, peace.